The World Trade Organization's agreement on technical barriers to trade agreements was established to ensure that technical regulations and standards and the procedures for assessing conformity with them do not create unnecessary obstacles to international trade. The World Trade Organization's technical barriers to trade agreements promotes recognition by countries of each other's conformity assessment results as a way of reducing barriers to trade. The increased choice of comparing products brought by global markets and the downward pressure on prices resulting from competition means that customers will tend to reject products that do not receive as being quality products, even though their price may be low. Global markets and competition will probably tend to give them a choice of better quality of the same price. The emphasis of a quality infrastructure institution is on markets and consumers. All component parts of the quality infrastructure institutions act dynamically on each other. The interaction is particularly intense between enterprises and customers. Consumers enterprises offer products and services and receive direct and indirect feedback from consumers in the form of sales and levels of customer satisfaction. A further link in the quality infrastructure institutions chain is made up of the organizations that provide conformity assessment services for the quality infrastructure. The use of international standards thus harmonizes conformity assessment activities throughout the world. This has far-reaching benefits for international trade in general. Agreements among nations or regions on the mutual acceptability of requirements, assessment methods, inspection, or test results can all help to reduce or remove technical barriers to trade. These requirements and rules often defined in regulations relating to importation and market access that vary from country to country. The focus on diplomatic ties today is on United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Unido, assistance towards entrenching quality culture in Nigeria. Within the framework of the national quality infrastructure targeted at improving the quality of products and services exchanged in the Nigerian regional and international markets, Unido, under the National Quality Infrastructure Project, has been of immense assistance to Nigeria. My guest on diplomatic ties today is Dr. Shaukat Hussein Malik. Dr. Shaukat Hussein Malik is the Chief Technical Advisor, National Quality Infrastructure Project of Nigeria. The focus on diplomatic ties once again today is on United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Unido, assistance towards entrenching quality culture in Nigeria. Other issues will be embedded on the program after this time out. Stay with us.
Just as proper diagnosis, measurement, or application of drugs are determined by the size, weight, or age of a patient in the medical setting, so is measurement important in other endeavors. That underscores the concept of metrology in human activities, though not much utilized after the introduction of measurement in 1962, when the nation's agricultural products were to be exported without accuracy. Nigeria now considers the importance of standards and quality as it strives for industrialization.
We have selected some follow-up actions that need to be scaled up, that need to be strengthened, and we'll be working on that.
We developed first time the National Technical Working Group about global gap, that is global good agriculture practices.
Once you go obey metrology, everything will fall in line. It reduces disputes and transaction costs. It also enhances consumer protection. It ensures level playing grounds for commerce. It ensures effective stock control.
Since Unido and the EU are rounding off the initiative, the media has advocated appropriate laws which drive the metrology initiative for national development. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Beginning with when the program started, how many years was the project in Nigeria?
Yeah, this was basically a 4-year project. We started in 2013, but the movement was a little bit slow. So we extended this project for another 1.5 years. So we completed it now. It is going to be completed in January 2019. So this was now 5.5 year program somehow.
Okay, now, given when it took off and the concluding stage now, if I ask you, what milestones have you covered and achieved?
The milestone basically we covered in this project, those are the international institutions, those was required for the country, for the international trade, for the improvement, quality and safety of the Nigerian products. So as per the international trade and as per the international best practices, 4 pillars are required in the country. The pillar 1 is the standard body. Standard body of Nigeria is already there in the country, that is SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria. What was missing was the accreditation body. We developed the accreditation body from scratch, that is Nigerian National Accreditation Services, that is now available, NINAS. We developed in the country the National Metrology Institute, that is very much necessary for the measurement, for the calibration of all the trade related items and for the safety of the different medical equipments. So we developed the NMI, National Metrology Institute at Inogo, that is fully functional now. It was missing link in the country. We developed, as you said in the beginning, inspection and certification and testing is required for the international trade. So we developed the indigenous certification bodies in the country. Those certification bodies are Nigerian certification bodies, but those are globally accredited. So the certificate they issue, that certificate is equally acceptable as any certification body in the world.
I'll come to the Nigerian certification bodies. Yeah. Now, there's always a confusion point here, or a missing link here between metrology and meteorology. So what are the differences, and which one do you mean here now, for clarification?
Yeah, metrology is basically the science of measurement, the science of calibration, and meteorology is the science of weather. You know, the weather prediction, that is meteorology. But this is metrology.
Okay.
So this is the science of measurement.
Okay. Now, before you came, there were a lot of inconsistencies, connects, disconnects regarding exports from Nigeria in terms of Nigerian products being accepted at the international space.
Yeah.
So with the completion of this project now, what do we expect?
Yeah, with the completion of this project, basically now you have the passport that your products are safe, your products are good for consumption. That was one of the major missing link. On the other side, we worked on the value chain of the different products as well. For example, for the dry beans, we trained the farmers, we trained the transporters, we trained the farmers how to store these dry beans, and then at the end, there is a certification body that can certify it, that now these dry beans are safe for the consumption. So this is a basically missing link. This was the basically missing link, that the certification body was not available in the country. Now these are available in the country.
Is it only on consumable products? What about maybe like other products like steel, building materials? Does it also apply?
No, that certification body scope is high, so this is included in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we now after Unido leaves?
Yeah, basically whatsoever we have established in 5.5 years almost, that need basically the sustainability. That need that country must basically keep it moving. Sustainability and the maturity of the quality infrastructure project, that is very, very necessary. This was the EU funded project. EU has funded this project, and as a Unido we implemented this project. But now this is a time that for the continuity, government should continue this project further, because now the infrastructure is available. That is why we call it national quality infrastructure. In this national quality infrastructure, we develop the infrastructure in terms of institutions. Those were missing in the country. Now those institutions are there. There is a need to flourish those institutions further and to continue those institutions further. That is required. To keep this plug-in, we developed the Nigerian Quality Infrastructure Forum. So all the public and private partners are in it, so that they may discuss about these quality infrastructure institution, and they may create on the other side the demand for the services of these quality infrastructure institutions, and they may give the awareness to the country that these services are now available, and the institution, the other institution, the international organizations, and the
Did you also structure how regular this forum will be meeting to ensure that there's compliance and sustained spirit of what you have entrenched?
yeah, this forum is independent forum. This forum has the BOT, Board of Trustees. This forum has the basically executive body. So all the people in the forum, they are technically very sound people. We trained them during this 5 year. They are basically competent and credible people of the country. So they know better when to meet, how to meet, and when it is required.
Okay.
So as a Unido, we are not imposing anything. Yeah.
When a project like yours comes and is about to go like you're going now, did you put in place an M&E, a monitoring and evaluations platform where you could maybe monitor what is happening after you leave? Is there something like that?
Yeah, basically, in every EU-funded project and Unido implemented project, there is very strict M&E system. We do the midterm evaluation and then we do the final evaluation.
What if you discover in the course of doing the midterm evaluation, you realize there's a relapse? What will you do?
Yeah, basically in the midterm evaluation, we do for the purpose that if something is going missing or something is going wrong, so we may take immediate the corrective measures before we may complete the project.
Okay.
So that is a very, very good tool. And some of the indications we felt in the midterm evaluation that we covered and we took the measures accordingly.
Somewhere you talked about awareness creation. Did you have a media component entrenched in whatever you did? Because if you put in place this phenomenal project, which is now has been created, we now have a national quality infrastructure in place. People are not aware. Is there a media component?
Yeah, in this entire program, we have the media expert, and the media expert is very competent lady. She created the media forum as well. Now at this stage, and every year we inform to the media through that media forum, that is media forum for quality. And recently, even yesterday, we called the media people and we briefed them about one of the component that was metrology. For each component, we called them every year. We invited the media every year, not that is in organized way every year, but in another way, we every time was informing to the media through different sources, because we were the permanent media expert, national media expert, and she was taking care of it.
Okay. Now, the issue of quality has been a problem in Africa. Let's depart from Nigeria and give the larger picture.
Yeah.
A particular product, you have situations where before now, people come pick products from Nigeria to a country where there's quality in place, quality infrastructure in place, they process there and export. The name Nigeria vanishes. So we now know that whatever we do from Nigeria goes out as a Nigerian product.
Yeah, this is very good for Nigerian products, and this is now in an established way. Nigeria can now export the products. Those are good for the human consumption. Those are good for safety and for quality of the.
So the issue of the rejection of Nigerian beans, yam, at the export space is a thing of the past now?
We developed the basically integrated export control plan that has been validated by the Ministry of Industry, by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Honorable Minister of Industry, and those integrated export control plan has been validated, and we are hopeful that in future government will implement it in a strict way so that there should be no lapses in it. Nobody can send the product those are not good for human consumption, so that at the end these may not be rejected.
Were experts trained in this?
Yeah, we involved it was a zero reject committee, and through that committee we invited all the, basically government developed this committee, and then They have invited all the MDAs, all the ministries, all the departments, all the private sector in it. And as a Unido, we provided the expertise so that we may conclude and we may develop this integrated export control plan as per the international best practices. So everybody was involved in it.
Everybody was involved in it. In the spirit of SDGs now,
Yeah.
would you say that you structured a PPP structure where you have the public-private sector working together?
Yeah, that is Nigerian Quality Infrastructure Forum. That is the ultimate goal, where the public and private sector is now working together.
Okay, let's leave Nigeria and go to Africa now. You're not leaving Nigeria. We have other African countries with this challenge of not having a national quality infrastructure in place.
Yeah.
From Nigeria, where next are you heading to? Or is it a bye-bye from Africa? Are you saying bye-bye from Africa?
No, it is not bye-bye for Africa. In the entire West Africa, we are implementing the quality infrastructure project. Our projects are going on from the last 8 and 9 years, and those are EU funded again project, and this is moving. And if you, this is the name of the project is West Africa Quality Program. This was the Nigerian quality program.
Okay.
We achieved it, but still the West Africa quality program is working, because still in the West Africa there are some countries where the quality infrastructure need to be established fully.
That's why I asked the question. So from Nigeria, where are you heading to?
Yeah, from Nigeria, basically in all the West Africa quality program is working very well. I am now going to Sierra Leone, and in the Sierra Leone we are, as a Unido, this is another EU funded project to move the Sierra Leone into that direction.
Because the issue is that if you solve a problem, say in Nigeria, and you don't take care of other West African countries, it's as good as a problem not solved.
Yeah.
Right?
You are right.
Now, how do you intend to replicate it there so that by the time it comes to maybe comparing notes, it will be a seamless process?
Yeah, I would only say that the Africa is moving, the West Africa is moving, and soon you will see that the entire quality culture would be established fully in the West African countries.
Okay.
And in the entire Africa as well.
We have always had a problem with exports from Africa, Nigeria particularly. A huge market, yet we don't export because we could not meet the standards at the global scene.
Yeah.
But that will be when we could come back after this time out.
Diplomatic ties.
And we're doing our best to make it as convenient and easy as possible for prospective students.
What we can do is just support the efforts of West African countries to integrate, to organize a better regional, political and economic integration.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Diplomatic ties, building friendship and enhancing oneness among nations. Watch Diplomatic Ties on NTA International.
Where do you think Nigeria will be? Let me start from Nigeria before I go into the West African sub-region. What's your projection, given the standard and quality you have put in Nigeria? What's your projection for Nigeria in the export market in the next 2 years, if all is complied with?
I think now the sky would be limit for Nigeria, because all the institution and all the structure is now available in Nigeria, and this need to be now sustained only. Otherwise, if somebody want to export anything, now they can. There are many accredited lab in the countries. Now there are accredited certification bodies available, inspection bodies. There are testing laboratories available, and there is a need now to put this quality infrastructure institutions in a legal way. We have submitted the quality policy to the government. We are hopeful soon government will approve that quality policy and will move these institutions, those have been established now, toward the legal framework. But I do not think that now there is an obstacle for the products of the Nigeria to be exported into the entire world. Now you can export the products.
Even without the accreditation bodies being active?
No, accreditation body is active.
Okay, they are active
NINAS
already.
is now available in the country. NINAS is now a member of the International Lab Accreditation Cooperation. Similarly, the certification bodies are basically recognized by the IFA, that is International Accreditation Forum. So these international systems are now available in the country. Even the NMI, that is the National Metrology Institute, that is full member of AFRIMET, that is African Metrology System. African Metrology System is again the member of BIPM, that is the basically the global metrology system. So BIPM has recognized the AFRIMET, and AFRIMET has recognized the Metrology Institute.
Okay.
Similarly, now it means your Metrology Institute has the link up to the international recognition.
Okay.
Similarly, the NINAS, Nigerian National Accreditation Services, this is the full member of AFRIC.
Okay.
Basically, AFRIC is the African Regional Accreditation Cooperation, and AFRIC is basically recognized by the ILAC, that is International Lab Accreditation Cooperation. Now the NINAS is basically full member of AFRIC, and AFRIC is accepted by the ILAC. So through this chain, now the international recognition is available. This is the way how the world is moving.
Okay.
And this is the way how these institutions are available everywhere in the world, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in America, everywhere in British. This is the structure.
So I'll be
So
right.
we
I'll be-
replicated that quality infrastructure for Nigeria.
Okay, so I'll be right to say now the trouble of double checking Nigerian products for exports is over now. Because before now, if there's any export product from Nigeria, it goes to another check after it leaves the shores of Nigeria.
Yeah, I mentioned integrated export control plan.
Good.
We are hopeful soon it will be implemented fully.
How soon?
Let's see. I'm hopeful soon it will be implemented fully, because now at least our job was basically to develop this integrated export control plan as per international best practices by involving the relevant stakeholders. So we involved the relevant stakeholders, and everybody was on board, and they endorsed it. First all the MDAs endorsed it, then we submitted to the government, to the relevant ministries, and they validated it. Now there is a need to basically put certain reforms, and we are hopeful that this integrated export control plan would be implemented soon.
Okay, let me imagine that
Yeah.
as you're about to leave the shores of Nigeria,
Yeah.
after completing your tour of duty
Yeah.
on entrenching equality culture in Nigeria, and the Nigerian government invites you to address a forum
Yeah.
where you need to emphasize on the message of why this project is all important to the Nigerian business climate regarding the export domain
Yeah.
for Nigerian products. What message will you emphasize on this class of persons? Because there's a tendency that if all you're put in place, structured, is not complied with, there could be a relapse.
Yeah.
So imagine that you are addressing a group, a kind of a keynote address. What will you drive home?
Basically, this project has basically completed, but as a Unido, we are in the country. Our country office is here. Country office is basically headed by the Unido country director. He is the regional director as well, Mr. Jean Bakole. So he is available here, and our entire country office is available here. So whenever the government would be required, and they are aligned with the government, so they will support it further.
Okay, now let's look at Africa. If the entire Africa has in place, say, an African quality infrastructure structure,
Yeah.
where do you think we'll be in the next 1 year?
Where it would
That
be
Africa
the
now,
country,
not just Nigeria.
country or as a region.
As a region, yes. As a continent.
region, as a continent, Africa is already as equal as the international community is.
But if there's an absence of an equality infrastructure, what happens?
I mean, this is mandatory. Quality infrastructure is mandatory.
Okay.
And in Africa is very much ahead in it and very much recognized in the world.
Beautiful.
Because I told you, for accreditation, There is the African Regional Accreditation Cooperation. It is regional for Africa, but it is accepted globally. For metrology, it is regional for metrology, but accepted globally. For standard, that is also African Regional Standard Organization. It is for Africa, but it is accepted by the International Organization of Standards.
And Nigeria has been uploaded in all this.
And Nigeria is now leading in all them. Sky is the limit for Nigeria. Nigeria has moved ahead, and Nigeria will further move ahead.
Okay. What word of reassurance do you have for Nigerian exporters who have had the fear before now?
Nigerian products are very good. For example, if I may tell you honey is very good. I take in every morning in the breakfast. But if honey is good, where is the proof that it is good? It is safe for consumption. That proof was missing, not the product.
So
product
now that
is
proof has been
quality
established.
product.
Okay.
Now the proof is the certification body. Okay, now it has been established in the shape of quality infrastructure. You can test this honey from the accredited lab and tell to the international community. International community will never accept your result if your laboratory is not accredited. But if laboratory accredited, then they will accept this result, and this result will be as equally accepted as any laboratory in the world. So now the tools and the means are there. Definitely, I am not saying we did with this PROM the food safety campaign almost in every state of the country. Okay. We have given the awareness about food safety. But this quality is a never ending journey. Okay. That is why it is not a destination, it is a journey. You have to continue it. At any step, if you will stop it, then it will not be stopped there, it will be rolling back. Okay. If you are not moving ahead, it means you are going back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Shaukat Hussein Malik.
Thank you.
It was nice talking with you.
Thank you.
On the program today, we've been looking at entrenching a quality infrastructure culture in Nigeria, and that singular project was handled by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Unido. The trouble of double-checking Nigerian products at the export flank of the world is now a thing of the past. All you need to do, if you're an exporter, identify with all the accreditation bodies that have been put in place so that it is now a bye-bye to cross-checking Nigeria's products at the export market. That is that on Diplomatic Ties today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Is just support the efforts of West African countries to integrate, to organize a better regional, political and economic integration.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Diplomatic ties, building friendship and enhancing oneness among nations. Watch Diplomatic Ties on NTA International.